right, welcome everybody. It is Tuesday night and I am ready to do some stamping. If I sound a little less energetic than normal, it's because I've had a kind of a sinus headache all day, but hopefully I'm getting a little bit better, so we'll be able to get through this tonight. For those of you new to my Facebook Live, my name is Julie Brown, Julie's Creative Stamping. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And I am here to show you guys how easy it is for you to be creative, for you to be able to make some beautiful cards. And I hope you're going to enjoy what you see tonight. A little bit of housekeeping. If this is your first time on a Facebook Live, you can actually type in the comments. If you have any questions, you can also type in and let me know you're here. And so, and if you're watching this on YouTube, I do record it on Facebook and then I upload it to YouTube. So if you're watching it on my YouTube channel, you can still type in questions and it actually sends me a message and I'll be able to answer any questions for you. So let's get some more housekeeping out of the way and then we'll get to card making. Alrighty, so the hostess code for this month is listed there. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you see something you like tonight and you want to place an order, you can do that at juliebrown.stampinup.net. My email is listed there. My Pinterest and Facebook and Instagram pages are all Julie's Creative Stamping. Hey, Shanine. And then my YouTube channel is a little bit different. You have to type in juliebrown.Julie's Creative Stamping. I do have a blog, which is part of a new website that I'm designing. So pretty much the only part of the website that's working right now is the blog. So you can also go there to get some step-by-step instructions of some of the cards that I've made in the past. All right, so let's look at what we're going to be doing tonight. I am going to be working with the Country Floral Lane Suite, and that is on pages 8 and 9 of the new mini catalog. Again, if you're new to Stampin' Up!, you've never heard of Stampin' Up!, you don't have a demonstrator, and you'd like a catalog, please reach out to me and I can get you one of these new mini catalogs that just came out. Also, just so you know, celebration is going on. So for every $50 that you spend, you can get a free stamp set or some free paper. So again, if you are needing those catalogs, or if you are a customer of mine and you haven't received your catalog yet, again, let me know so that we can get that out to you. So let's go over what all is in this suite. So it comes with this really fun 2-step stamp set, which is called Country Bouquet. And then it has this really fun punch that punches out the hearts and the leaves. And then it has this really pretty shiny, they're called pastel adhesive back sequins, which I'm in love with. I absolutely love these. It comes with 2 designer series paper. One is a 6x6 and it's called the it's called Country Gingham. And as you can see, it has like double-sided and there's different patterns throughout. And it does have like Sweet Sorbet, Mint Macaron, Balmy Blue, and Petal Pink are the colors that are in this. But this actually has 48 sheets in this little 6x6 pack. So really cool. And for those of you that want to do a paper share, I'm going to be posting that here pretty soon on this Facebook page. So if that's something you think you might be interested in, I'll get it all posted with the price. It also comes with this combo pack of Real Red and burlap ribbon. And then it has the 12x12 designer series paper. And you can see all the pretty patterns here. Now the cool thing about this piece right here is that this punch will actually punch out these flowers from this particular piece of designer series paper. Alrighty, so let's get started. Let's get all this stuff out of the way so I can start showing you some cards. Again, if you guys are new to my watching me, I've started kind of a new little system where I try to show you a simple stamping card and then a casual card and then an avid card, because everybody stamps or makes cards at a different level. So whether you're just starting out or you've been doing this for a while, hopefully I can cover the whole gamut and give everybody some great ideas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this in, and it's Evening Evergreen, and it's 2 sheets of the basic white. Now I do want to show you something that I did that I suggest you guys do when you're trying to figure out like what colors go together. So I'm going to show you a little secret that I did. And so what I did was I pulled out, and I just did it with two pieces, two different greens, but I'll do this with all of the greens. But what I did was, this is the two-step stamp. So I went ahead and stamped it with Evening Evergreen. And then as you can see, I wrote which colors I stamped with it. And that way it gives you an idea of what you like together and what you don't like together. So I started on this side with the subtles, and I did the subtles, and then I did all of the, I didn't do like the other greens and stuff. I mainly did the pinks, the purples, the yellows, and the oranges. And so that's what they look like with Evening Evergreen. And then I also did it with Shaded Spruce. And I don't know if online or on live you can see it, but when you stamp this at home, it really helps you to see how everything coordinates together and whether or not you like it together. Because you may think you've got this great design, and then you kind of look at your color combinations and you're like, yeah, maybe I don't like that so much. So anyway, just a quick tip on how to do that. It works best with the two-step stamping because obviously you can combine the two colors. So I did it with the Evening Evergreen and the Shaded Spruce here, but I will be doing it with all of the other greens as well. And I go through the whole gamut of our color family. So the subtles, the brights, the regals. All right, so let's get going on this card. So this is going to be our simple stamping card. And basically what simple stamping means, it doesn't mean that it's less than anything else, but it's just, we're just simply going to be using a stamp set, some ink, and some cardstock to make this card. Now you can always, step it up a little bit, and you can always bring in some different like embellishments and things. And hold on one second, it looks like the ink that I'm going to be using, it has disappeared, so hold on one second. I had already put it in a bucket for my stamp class this week. So, okay, so I'm going to start out with the Evening Evergreen. And because this is a two-step stamp, we're going to stamp the leaves first, and then we're going to stamp the flowers. So I'm just going to ink this up. You might also notice that I'm wearing kind of a hooded sweatshirt. Like I said at the beginning, I've been struggling with a sinus headache today, and it's made me really cold all day. So hopefully I can get warmed up before I go to bed tonight. And it was actually kind of pretty here today, so that was kind of weird that I was kind of cold. All right, so I did two kind of down there, and then I want to do one up here. And you can see that I'm stamping off the page, so it's not all the way on the page. So let's clean that off. And then we are going to bring in the flowers. And for this one, I used Melon Mambo, which is a color I haven't used in a long time. But when I did that page that I showed you earlier, this was one of the combinations that I ended up really liking. So I thought, oh, let's use some Melon Mambo. So now what you do is you come in and you ink this up. And then what's nice about the two-step stamps is they're usually on photopolymer stamps, so you can actually see through for your placement. But I do have a glare that comes down every time I try to do this, so hopefully I'll get it together. But see how pretty that is once you put those two together? So how fun is this stamp? It's actually really cool. Alrighty, so I am going to try to get this lined up again without that glare being in my face. So there's that one. And then this one obviously is just partial. And I don't think I got that one placed as good. But you can see how even if you don't get it placed perfectly, it still looks really pretty. I'm going to go ahead and actually I'll wait for the inside. So let me clean this off. And then what I want to do is this stamp set, and you can see how, now I want you guys to understand the reason that my stamp looks this way is because I just showed you how I went through and I stamped almost every ink color I have with this stamp to see how I liked it with the greens. But you can see how even though it is stained, it still is stamping perfectly fine. So that's a good example. I know a lot of people think that, oh my gosh, I stained it, it's going to be ruined forever. It's not. The photopolymer stamps, just especially the red inks, tend to stain them. But as long as you're cleaning them off good, then they work just fine. All right. So now what I want to do is I want to bring in, it has this other cute little stamp set, which is some double hearts. And so I want to bring in some double hearts. And I'm going to do it both in the Evening Evergreen and in the Melon Mambo. And this is just to kind of give it a little extra oomph. Okay, so I got to clean that, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to bring in some hearts. Oh yeah, that is cool how they work together, huh, Shanine? I love that too, that they work together really, really nicely. But it, you know, some people are kind of afraid of the two-step stamping, but you know, again, you guys, sometimes this really is about just sitting down and playing with the tools that you've bought and learning how to line things up and do it. You know, I know that people can sometimes get frustrated when they get something and they're not sure how to use it and it doesn't come out perfect the first time, but it's all about just getting used to using it. And it really doesn't take that long. There's a pretty low learning curve with this. Because they are photopolymer and you can see right through it, it makes it really easy to line up. All right, so then what I want to, let's go ahead and do this inside while I've got it here. So for this, what I wanted to do is bring in this little saying that says, I love that we are friends. And we're going to do this in Melon Mambo. So let's get that up here. Now, last week I showed you a set that's called Love for You, and it actually coordinates really well with this suite. So everything that, so if you guys missed that video, you can either look back on right here on Facebook, or you can go to my YouTube channel, which is the juliebrown.julie's Creative Stamping, and you can see that video. And then I'm going to bring in these hearts, and we're going to put one up here and one over here. And then I want to bring in the Evening Evergreen hearts and put those together too. But I highly suggest that you check out that other stamp set. It's called Love for You, and it does coordinate like super, super good with this particular suite. It's got some really fun dies that cut out words, and I'm going to be actually showing that off again. I kind of have a theme this month in my card classes, and you're going to see that theme. Hey, Patty, you're going to see that theme at least one time on my lives, is I'm trying to get us to think about using our scrap paper. So I am going to come back in with that Love for You that I did last week and show you another fun card using scrap paper with that one. Okay, so that's the inside. And so to put this card together, I gotta stamp one more thing. So I have some Melon Mambo and some basic white, and I want to bring in the one that says, just wanted to say. All right, and I'm gonna stamp that in Evening Evergreen. I'm so glad you're here, Patty. How fun. All right, so this one, I'm just going to kind of ink it up. And I want it to not be all the way to the left side, and you'll understand that in just a second as I start to put this card together. All right, so let's clean this one up. Can you guys hear the squeak, squeak, squeak when I do that? All right, so I'm going to take this, And I'm actually just going to bring in my Stampin' Seal Plus. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attach this. And I'm going to have it flush to the left side. And then I'm trying to center it top and bottom. Alrighty. So I hope everybody had a great New Year's. You're all ready for the new year. Okay, so then what I want to do is I want to bring this in and I want to put this across this corner up here. I kind of like once in a while just being a little bit different and bringing things in at another angle. Now the reason I'm moving that paper is because this is kind of like my silicone mats. And I have, I think I took my silicone mats upstairs to clean because I couldn't find them when I went. Oh, wait, here they are. Yay, I found it. I was like, where the heck are they? I had them buried over to my right. So what I want to do is I want to bring this in and I want to get this lined up. Let's see. Just like so. And then I'm going to just take my snips and we are just going to snip that off. But like I said, I kind of wanted to do an angle because I always tend to do everything kind of straight all the time. And I thought this one would be fun at an angle. All right. So see how cool that looks? Do you guys like that? It looks kind of cool putting that up there at an angle like that. But do you see why I went all the way to the end with the white? Because I knew I was going to be cutting it off and I still wanted it to look good. All right, so then we're just going to bring this in and we are going to pop this onto the front of this card. Again, this is my simple stamping version because I just want to show you guys, we can make beautiful cards with just stamp, stamp, inks, cardstock, right? And I know I had gotten away from that a little bit, so I think that's why I've kind of geared my lives to showing you guys the 3 different steps of doing that. Yeah, I love the flowered hearts. I know, aren't they beautiful? All right, so here we go. And we're going to stick that in there. And then our first card is done. What do you guys think? Oh, you do like the angle, Shanine. I'm glad. And Patty, you love the flowered hearts. Yeah, aren't they pretty? Look how beautiful that card is. That is so pretty. This could be a birthday card. This could be a Valentine's Day card. It could be a wedding card. So lots of uses for this card. All right, so that's card 1. All right, so for card 2, I call this a casual card just because there's just a few more things that we have to do with this card. And that's when I start considering them casual cards, is when we've got to bring in, like we're bringing in the punch, we're bringing in the dies. And I'm actually bringing in the dies from the Love For You set. So what I did, I wanted to show you what I did. So what I did is this particular stamp, I don't know if you can see it here, but this stamp, so the punch, as you can see the punch, look at the punch, it has both the hearts and the leaves. So if you want to be able to cut it all out at once, then you need to stamp it like that. And so this stamp is actually together and this stamp is actually together. So what I did was I punched out, and I'm going to show you because I have an extra piece. I punched out basically a stencil from that punch, and then I laid it on here on my Stamparatus, and you'll notice I outlined. And the reason that I outlined was I was having a hard time lining up this stamp to this. And so I thought, maybe if I outline it, I can see it. So it worked really good. And so then I moved this out of the way. And now what I can do is I can bring in the paper that I'm wanting to stamp on. And you can also see that I showed where I had that set so that I can get this set right. So now I'm just going to get that lined up, bring in my magnet, and then I wanted to use, for this card, I'm using Night of Navy. I'm laughing because I have a card class going on this week, and I'm using some of these same colors. So I turned to reach for it, and it wasn't there. But no worries. All right, so now I'm just going to take that, and I'm going to push that down and get that stamped. And then I'm going to clean that off, and then I'm going to turn it over because I already set up the leaves. And you can see that this is one full stamp. See how it's stamped both pieces? Well, the leaves are going to do the same thing. So we're going to turn this around because I've already put the leaf on here. And I'm going to use Mossy Meadow this time. And we are going to ink that up. Now again, the reason I used the Stamparatus and I did the stencil was because I wanted to be able to cut all of these pieces out at once with my punch. Because I could have just stamped the leaves on a piece of paper, and I could have just stamped the hearts on a piece of paper, and on a separate piece of paper, and it would have cut out just fine. But I just wanted to show you guys this technique of using the Stamparatus. Sorry, I'm trying to get this cleaned. Of using the Stamparatus to make it a little bit easier, and also uses a little bit less paper doing it this way. All right, so now we're just going to pull this out, and I'm going to set my Stamparatus to the side, and we're going to bring in that punch, and now I can just feed this down into the punch. And what's funny is it doesn't cut this out as one piece. It cuts out all the separate pieces. But that was just an easy way. But see how easy that lined up? Because I had used the Stamparatus first. So now I'm just going to punch these out, and they go flying everywhere. And then I have another stencil if I want it. And don't get rid of stuff like this, because you could actually use sponge daubers and daub in color here and make some really fun cards. And I may do that this week and just kind of do a quick, hey, here's those cards I talked to you about. All right. So the next thing that I want to do is on this little piece of paper here. This set also comes with, and I think I don't have it on a block, so let me pull it out. It's got a really cute little flower and leaf combination. And so what I wanted to do was I wanted to give this some interest. And so I can't stress to you enough that when I'm doing this, what I'm fixing to do right now, you want to be extremely light-handed when you draw this in. So I basically kind of want to draw a curve, and you'll see why in a second. But I don't want to push real hard with my pencil because I tried to like do this and then ink and then do my pattern on here, and I had to wait a really long time before I could erase the pencil mark. So this time I'm just going to be like barely, and I know you guys probably won't even be able to see that, but let me bring it closer. But see how I drew that line? Can you guys see that? So I just kind of drew a curvy line. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with this flower. And I'm going to start in this top corner, and I'm going to just stamp that. And then basically what I'm doing is now I'm just following that pencil line. So I'm just stamping this right next to the one on the left-hand side, and I am just following that pencil line. The nice thing is because I'm using Night of Navy, it covers up that pencil line really well. All right, so now it looks like this. So now we've kind of made a little design. Let me clean this off. So the next thing that I want to do is I'm going to bring in my paper snips. I just had them here, but I'll grab my other pair. And what I'm going to do is I am going to cut this, I'm going to do a fussy cut around the top edge. Again, and I'm doing this because I just wanted to give this a different look. So remember, I've told you before, when you're fussy cutting, I'm basically squeezing with my right hand, but I'm moving the paper with my left hand. And that's what helps me to get a nice edges on that. All right, so see how that looks when you get it cut out? It gives you that really fun edge. All right, so now what we're going to do is we are going to adhere. This is part of that designer series paper, the 12 by 12, which is the Country, I believe this one's the Country Floral Lane. And so I'm just going to put this on the bottom here. But see how it just gave that a really fun, neat design? As much as I like all the fun tools, sometimes you don't need them. You just need your scissors and you can make a really fun design, and it doesn't have to be straight across. You can do what I just did and make it all nice and curvy and fun. So we're going to stick that right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and build my, put my hearts and my leaves that I punched out. And I am using liquid glue to do this one. So that's going to go about right there. I think it has to go a little bit higher. Maybe not. Right there. And then this little heart, you can do it upside down or not, but the stamp, when you stamp it, it actually has this one upside down from the other one. So that one's going to go right there. And then we're going to bring in our leaves. I also wanted to show you guys how, you know, just because the designer series paper, you guys saw all the pink in the designer series paper, but just because it said that we should be using balmy blue and all of those colors, I mean, here I am bringing in Night of Navy, and it's still looking pretty awesome, right? All right. And then I believe I already cut myself. I don't, well, maybe not. All right, hold on. So then I want to use some of this burlap ribbon. And remember, this is a combo ribbon. You get real red and burlap. And so I want to use some of this burlap ribbon. And I'm going to do my tie a knot trick that I usually do. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and tie a knot first. And hopefully I've given myself enough room. We will see. And then I'm just going to kind of pull this tight. And then because I want my bow to be over here, I want to cut this close to the bow on the left side of the bow. So I'm going to cut it about right there. And then that opens this up so that I can then wrap this around. And then I've already tied my knot, so it's not as hard to tie. Because sometimes when you're trying to wrap it around your paper and tie it, you end up bending your paper, or even like cutting your paper sometimes, because as you try to pull it tight, it'll tear the paper. So this is just my little trick for getting those knots tied without tearing up my paper. Because and maybe it's just me, but I have a tendency to struggle with that a little bit. So I found a quick little trick on how to not do that. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys thought that was a good idea. All right, so then we've got that, and we can trim all this later. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Night of Navy base. Trying to find my bone folder. And then now I'm going to add some more adhesive on the back of this. And we're going to stick that on the front of the card. Like so. Okay, so that's what we've got so far. So now I'm gonna do some die cutting, but I didn't put the adhesive sheet on the back of this because I don't think I've showed you guys for a while how to do that and how easy it is to apply our adhesive sheets to the back. And so why do we use adhesive sheets? Well, we use these because I'm fixing to cut out some very fine letters, and I want them to be sticky. I don't want to have to try to put glue on them. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here, and you can see that these come in long strips, and so I'm just going to kind of measure that. And I don't know if you guys can see the lines. Oh, you're welcome for the ribbon tip. But there's lines in here, so I'm just going to kind of cut along this line and separate this. So I will measure it out, and sometimes I'll lay it on here, and I don't know if you guys can see the pencil marks, but so let's say if I had another, like let's say I had this piece that I wanted to do, I would lay it on here, and I would just draw a pencil line around it and then cut that out on that pencil line. But these adhesive sheets, you get a ton of adhesive sheets in here. It really does go a long way. And so the best way that I have found to do this is I just kind of peel back. I'm going to say easier said than done, because it always works better when I'm not on camera, right? Isn't that the case with everything? Everything works better when you're not trying to film it. Okay, so I'm just going to pull it apart, and this is the sticky side. So I'm just going to pull this back and kind of fold it down. And then I'm going to just turn this so that I can get this even on here. And then I just kind of stick my fingers and slowly pull that off as I lay that adhesive strip down. So see how easy that went on? Super easy. Super, super easy. All right, so now, and I do kind of give it a good rub, because I want that sticky to stick to the cardstock. So now I need to bring in, so these are the dies that go with the, and let me bring in that other stamp set if you guys haven't seen it. This is the Love for You stamp set. It, again, goes with this suite really well, but it's got all these really fun word cutouts. And I showed you this last week, so if you missed that video, go back and look at it. But I want this, Love You is the one that I want. And it's the more detailed one. So it's going to be these two right here. Oh shoot, I have the new boho. It's basically the blue mini Stampin' Cut machine. It's one of the celebration. If you sign up and you join my team during January and February, you can get one of these mini Stampin' Cut machines, but it's blue. And I keep forgetting I have one here, and believe it or not, I haven't unpacked it yet because my life has been that busy lately. But hopefully next week I'll have it out to show you guys. All right, so we're just going to take this and we're going to run this through. And because I've put the adhesive strip on the back is the reason you saw me go forward and then you saw me go back. And the reason that I did that is because anytime that you're adding, so I've added that adhesive strip to the back. Anytime you have layers, sometimes it's best to go ahead and run it through. Now you can see I still have some space here, so I'm gonna put this in my scrap bin, but I've already got this on here, so I'll be able to do this again with that adhesive strip. Okay, so now I'm getting warm. It's like I've been freezing all day long. So then I'm just going to take my Take Your Pick tool, and we're just going to pull this out. So do you see what I mean about like how delicate this is? I mean, and don't get me wrong, you can, if you don't have adhesive strips and you don't, you can definitely put glue on this and it'll work just fine. But I am all about making my life a little bit easier. And so that's why I love the adhesive strips. It really is. It just makes it easier to be able to just peel that back off and then stick this down instead of trying to get little tiny dots of glue on the back of this. You guys know me, man. I'm going to go for the easy every time. All right, so then all you got to do now is take this. Again, it's probably not going to usually, okay, there we go. Usually it works really easy. You hope you ordered this set. You don't remember, Shanine? Okay, so now I'm just going to take and I'm going to put the love right here. And I'm going to put the U over here. And again, the reason that this is going on so easy is because I used the adhesive strips. I think I want to put the U at an angle. I'm all about angling right now, right? All right, and then I'm going to bring in, if I can remember what I did with those embellishments. So we're going to bring in some of these little sequins. Guys, these are so pretty. Look at these. Can you see the shine on the... So pretty! It's like bling. Pretty. Ooh-ah, right? These are definitely the ooh-ah ones. So I'm just going to turn the end of my putty knife and give it a quick second to let the putty come out. And then I'm going to barely touch that. And I'm going to put one there, and then I just noticed one of these little boogers got loose or got stuck. Let me see if I can pull it and still, oh, I can't get couldn't get the sticky part on that. I don't know how that did. Oh, and I just knocked another one off. And then I'm just going to come in here and grab one of these. I think I want to put that one down there. And grab another one and put it up there. So we're just going to add those little embellishments. And then for the inside of the card, I had previously cut out one of the hearts. And so for the inside of the card, I'm just going to take this and I'm going to glue this. I could have just as easily have stamped just the top part of that heart, but I didn't want to. I wanted to use up all my little pieces and parts that I've cut out recently. So we're just going to stick that down there. And then I'm going to come in with crumb cake. And this is actually going to be a Valentine's Day card because I like to make sure I always make some Valentine's Day cards that are ones we can give out to the men in our lives. I mean, I guess we could give them pink, right? But I like to make ones that are a little bit with the more neutral colors. So I'm just going to stamp Happy Valentine's Day up there. And I've given myself plenty of room to write a nice sweet note to my sweetheart right there. Let me just clean that off. And then we're just going to stick this on the inside. So even though there were a lot of steps to this one, because I was using a lot of the tools, it really didn't make this an avid card because I wasn't like cutting a million things out. But some people might consider this avid. But I just considered it casual because I felt like it went pretty fast. All right, so what do you guys think? There's the one that says love you. And then Happy Valentine's Day on the inside. So super cute. I hope you guys like this one. All right, so my card 3 is my scrap one. For those of you that came in at the beginning of this, my theme this month, all of my card classes, everything that I'm doing this month is all based around using some of your scrap paper to help design your cards. And so that is what I am doing with this last one that we're doing right here. And so what I have done is I'm going to have a thick basic white. Now I am using a big piece of that designer series paper. Oh, I'm glad you like that card. And this time, again, I don't do this very often, but this time I cut this piece to the exact size of my card front. So I cut it at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Most of the time I leave little edges around, and I know I just gave you guys a bunch of templates. I did not give you this template. Oh, Patty, you have an enormous amount of scraps. Okay, then you're gonna love all of my lives this month, because I am really working with scraps and doing some fun things with scraps. I wish you were here, and then you could come to my classes and do scraps too. Okay, so we're just gonna adhere that to the front like so. And then what I did was, now this is that gingham. Okay, this is the gingham. And so I just had some scraps left over from another card that I made. And so I just went ahead and cut these to 1 1/2 by 1 1/2, and then I have some white. And then I had this other, again, most of this is going to be considered what we consider scrap. These are little tiny pieces of paper that we're probably not going to do a lot with. And so what I'm going to do with this one is I need to switch out some of my stamps. I thought I had these out, but I don't. And so what I want to do is I want to, for this piece and one of these other white ones, I'm going to do a little bit of stamping on them. Sorry, I'm trying to pull. Oh. Trying to pull these off. They're wanting to stick really good right now. So it's got these two fun little leaves, and so I want to pull these out. And this time I am going to be using kind of the colors that coordinate. So we are going to be using mint macaron, if I can find it. That's probably one that I have over there for my card class. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to first work on this piece. And I'm just going to take this longer one and kind of do that, not at the bottom, but kind of up towards the center. And then we're going to take the smaller, or I should say shorter, it's not really smaller, but it's the shorter leaf. And I'm just going to do where I come out the side. All right, so that's what it looks like so far. Let me clean those. Then I'm going to come back in with that same flower stamp that I used on the last card. If I can find it, here it is. And this time I need petal pink. And of course that's in my bucket. Hold on. I'm using this same set for some of my cards in my card class this week. Okay, so then I'm just going to come in with that petal pink with those little flowers, and we're just going to put some right there. Oh, I didn't get that cleaned very good. I don't think I had that cleaned. That's all right. It just makes it look a little different. And then I want to kind of stamp off over here. All right. So there's that. Then I'm going to come in with this one of these little ones, and we're going to come in on each corner with those little flowers. I love those little flowers. They're like super cute. So let me just show you that. All right. You know what, Patty? I think all of us have an enormous amount of scraps. It's just something that comes with the territory when you're a stamper. And then this is another one of those little sayings that are on there, the sentiments, and it says, for you. And so I'm going to bring this down here. And I want to stamp this for you kind of right in the middle of those two little flowers. Like so. All right. Oh, I'm going to need that. Actually, I'm going to need both of these. So then what I wanted to do, just to make all of this pop, because I am putting it on a very busy piece of paper, I needed this to pop. And the lady who taught me this is actually on with us tonight. It's Mel. So I'm going to be doing what we used to call chalking the edges. And so I am going to bring in a sponge dauber, and I'm just going to simply, like, it's just mint macaron on mint macaron. And so I'm just going to, and I'm gonna pull one of these that I haven't sponged yet, because I want you guys to be able to see the difference. Hopefully you can on camera. Can you see the difference? How the one on the left, you can kind of see an edge around it, and it just kind of makes it pop. Your lifelong friend. Yeah, she's the one that really got me into chalking, which I think you guys heard me say a couple videos ago. I do a lot when I'm scrapbooking, but for some reason when I'm making cards, and maybe it's just because when I get to designing cards, I'm just trying to get the design done, and I don't slow down. Whereas when I'm scrapbooking, I tend to go a little bit slower. All right, so there's that. And then I want to do 2 of the white ones, including the one that I stamped. And I want to, and you can really see that chalked edge on the white. I'll bring it closer in just a hot second. See how cool that looks on white? Super cool. But again, this is just a way to, when we have all these little pieces of paper, how we can just, use it along with a big piece of designer series paper, because that's what I have on the front. But some of the cards that we're doing in my class, and I think I'm going to actually do some videos with them, because they actually came out super cute, and I really, really like them. Okay, and then so for the petal pink one and the other white one, I'm going to bring in petal pink ink and do the exact same thing with chalking around that edge. And you'll really see the difference when I put it on this really busy designer series paper, because it really makes it pop. And when I mean pop, I just mean it kind of makes it stand out from that busy background. So chalking really helps, either chalking or matting. And when I talk about matting, that's like if I were to come in with a mint macaron piece and like piece it behind that, that would be matting it. Okay. Okay, so sponge daubers, ink. Okay, so now let's bring this piece in. And we're going to be working with all these little ones first. And so if you are one of those people that has to be exact, then I suggest you do what I'm showing you right now first, which is kind of lay it all out so that you can kind of see how much space to leave or how much space not to leave, or which way to angle everything. And basically, we're just going to add these little pieces to the front of this. Okay, so then the cool thing is that you can kind of sit and play with it just a little bit and get it so that it lines up the way that you want it to line up. Actually, I had one more green piece. I was like, I don't think I'm supposed to have a green piece down there. I think I'm supposed to have a white piece. There we go. I cut too many pieces. All right, so that's kind of how I want it to look. So now that I have those in place, all I'm going to do is just very carefully pull one up at a time. And we're just going to take our liquid glue, maybe. Oh my gosh. Seriously, what is going on with my glue tonight? I really need to make this work. Hold on. Oh, there we go. All right, so I'm just going to take that, and then I kind of already know like where I want it to lay based on the other pieces that are laying there. So now I can lay that down. And it does take a little bit of time to make sure everything's nice and straight, which when you're doing a presentation can sometimes be a little boring for those watching, but trust me, you're going to want to take the time to lay it all down straight when you're doing this at home. All right, and we're just going to put all these pieces down. Now, the reason that I called this an avid card, it's not because I have a ton of pieces, but because, you know, it took me a little bit of time on prepping this to get all of these pieces cut. And I just realized, again, another reason I like using liquid glue is because it gives me some wiggle room. This actually needs to be over just a bit for all of this to fit right. Hopefully this will come up. Oh, great. And then I just threw all the pieces off. Whoops, it is tearing it a bit, but it's okay because I'm going to cover it back up. This is what I always try to tell you guys. Liquid glue gives you a little bit of wiggle room, but not a lot. I had a little bit of time to move that, but apparently not that much time. All right, so now I'm going to lay that one down. Oh, I should have pulled that up right away too. So a lot of times, another way to get these up is to come in with, like, I have this little spatula from my Cricut machine. So sometimes you can get up underneath there like that instead of just pulling it up. And then it comes up pretty good. See how that worked much better? All right, so let's get this one down. I may have to do some surgery here just a second. All right, and then let me make sure I've got, yeah, because before I didn't really have a lot of space. Actually, I'm doing it again. This one actually needs to be over. All right, now I've got enough space. And I'm not one that everything has to be like symmetrical and perfect, but if you are, you can always bring a ruler in and set a ruler down so that you have all your little pieces exactly the same width or distance apart. But that's not me, but it could be you. I don't worry as much about that, especially since I know I'm fixing to put something on the top of this. So I don't worry about that quite as much. All right. So we've got all those pieces laid down. I am going to have to put a little bit of dot of glue right there to hold that edge down since I pulled that up. And then what I wanted to do is on this little piece here, again, I want to tie a piece of our burlap ribbon around this. And so I'm going to use that, show you that little trick again. And I may not have cut myself. Oh, I've got so much glue on my hands now. So I'm just going to tie a little bow, not a bow, sorry, a knot. Oh yeah, the quilting ruler. Yeah, I've got 3 of those, Mel, but I didn't use them. So yeah, that's actually a really cool tool to have. I'll show you what we're talking about in just a quick second. As soon as I can get this tied. All right. So this time I'm going to turn and I'm going to cut it exactly in half on the back because I wanted this one to be more centered on this card. And I don't think I gave myself enough. I'm going to do that again. I didn't give myself enough room because I had to really yank on those edges, which I don't like to do with this type of ribbon because it can fray the edges, which there are times where I want the edges to fray because it looks really cool, but I didn't give myself enough of a tail. I call it a tail. So we're going to redo that. All right. Now we're going to flip it over, cut that in half, flip this over, and then same concept as I did before. Is I'm just going to take this and I want that to be in the center. So I'm going to wrap that there and then turn and wrap it on this side. Whoops, that was way long. And once I get it like how I like it, then I can trim these pieces off here. And then I can kind of mess with my bow, and then I can trim this edge so that it's not raveled or unraveled, and do the same thing on this side. Because sometimes I actually purposely do unravel those, but I didn't want it for this one. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in some dimensionals. Easier said than done when I'm making a mess of my desk. And I'm just going to stick some dimensionals. I think I'm going to do like 5 because I want to get some right on the bottom edge there. Bottom edge there. And then we're just going to pick that up. So basically I'm just using my take your pick tool to get those pieces of paper off. And then this is just going to sit like so. So I'm going to pop that up just to give it some interest. And I'll finish the front in just a second. Let me do the inside and then we'll come back and finish the front and we're almost done. So what I want to do with this one is I just wanted to say again, and because I want to show you how you can take the sentiments from this set and combine them to kind of say what you want. So for the inside, I want this to say, just wanted to say, and I'm going to kind of do it over here. And then I'm going to bring in, I love you, because that's another one of the sentiments in this stamp set. And again, I don't want this, it's going to be offset, like so. And then I'm going to make sure this is clean this time. And then even though I am using the petal pink, so we're going to bring in the petal pink, those flowers again. And I just kind of want to set those right there. But see how fun that is? Let me bring that closer. See how fun that is where you can just, because it has all these little tiny sentiments, you can kind of offset them. You can make them look a little bit different. You can add, have it say what you want. It's just because it has this. It has, I love that we are friends, for you, I love you, with love, just wanted to say, and happy Valentine's Day. So a lot of really cool sentiments in here that don't all have to be Valentine's Day, right? But you can definitely, say happy Valentine. I could have put happy Valentine's Day, I love you. That would have worked as well. Okay, so now I'm just going to take this. How are we doing on time? Trying to stay within that hour. I think I have like 1 minute left. So we're going to stick that like so. And then this is going to just get popped on the inside. Oh, I made a mess of the inside of this card. I stuck it right in some glue, which I will be cleaning up later. And just so you know, if you ever do that, there's these really cool glue erasers like this, where you can just come in and do that. And then if you get like ink, which is what happened here, you can also, these are called mono sand erasers. And I don't have time to show you, but it will definitely, I can come in and I can get all those little tiny colors or little dots out of there. And you guys probably can't even see it on the screen. All right, bone folder. So we're gonna push that down, and then we're gonna come back in with those embellishments. And this time I'm gonna use the gold embellishments. Ah, my gosh, everything is sticky right now. And I'm just gonna come in and I'm gonna take, I think I want one of the big ones. Ah, I'm just gonna use this edge because these are kind of being squirrely. All right, so we're gonna put that one there. This one here. Grab this one. Ah. Oh, I was like, why won't they come up? It flipped over on me. I was trying to get them to take a hold, and it wouldn't do it. We'll put one there, and we will put one right there. And again, all of the embellishments and almost everything you've seen tonight is part of that Country Floral Suite. And that's that one. The Country Floral Lane Suite is most of what I used tonight, but the stamp set and the punch are the Country Bouquet Bundle. You can buy it as a bundle, you can buy the whole suite, and then I would add that Love for You set as well on there. All right, so what do you guys think? Do you guys like it? There it is. And then there's the inside. So that was kind of a way to take a busy paper, so I kind of showed you two things. Take a busy paper and calm it down, right? Calm it down just a little bit. Because sometimes when we have those busier papers, we don't quite know what to do. So if you bring your scraps in, then you can actually get that all put together. Okay, so let's look at the 3 cards we did tonight. All right. So there you go. So this up there, let me get them in order. So this was the simple stamping, this was the casual, and this was the avid. Now I am going to give you guys those of you coming to my card class, we are doing this last card in the card class. One of the cards we're doing this week. So you guys are actually going to get to make this really fun card right here. Because it is kind of the paper, using our scraps and using the paper pieces. So again, this is the Country Floral Lane Suite, along with the Love for You bundle, and the Country Bouquet Bundle is part of the Country Floral Suite. So I'm just going to put this up here one more time. That is the January hostess code. If you don't have a demonstrator, if you're not a demonstrator and you want to place an order, you can do that through me at juliebrown.stampinup.net. Also, don't forget, celebration is going on, right? Celebration is going on, and what that means is that for every $50 you spend, you can get a free stamp set, you can get free paper, a lot of free stuff. Also, if you sign up while this is going on, that little Stampin' Cut machine you saw me pull in here, they have a special blue one that is for new people that are newly signing up in January and February to be demonstrators for Stampin' Up. And understand, most of us most people sign up for Stampin' Up to be a demonstrator because they want the 20% discount, not because they're going to do classes. And that's perfectly fine. That's, that's okay. But it's like, if you fall in love with Stampin' Up and you decide this is something you really want to do, you really do want to consider joining and getting that 20% discount. And right now, getting that blue mini Stampin' Cut emboss machine. I will be showing you that, I promise, next week. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Again, make sure that you share, you subscribe, you follow, all the good stuff on all my social media channels. I think I am literally 4 people away on my YouTube channel to getting 1,000 subscribers. So if you have friends or family that like to watch card making, tell them to go to Julie's Creative Stamping and follow me and subscribe to that channel so that I can get to 1,000. I've been working really hard to get to that. That's kind of been my goal lately. Anyway, guys, I appreciate all of you, and I hope I've taught you, that you can be creative and that you can start simple and you can start adding on, and you can start adding on flair as you go. You never need to be afraid to start stamping and think you're not creative. That's what I thought, that I wasn't creative. I didn't think I had a creative bone in my body. And I went to a Stampin' Up class and started doing this, and now look what I'm doing. So I truly believe each and every one of us has a little sparkle of creativity inside of us. We just need to unleash it. And that's what I'm here to do, help you unleash that creativity within you. So hopefully you guys got inspired. You'll go make some cards, and hopefully you'll send me pictures of your cards because I love seeing what you guys do. So everybody have a good night, and some of you, I will be seeing you this week for class. And if you haven't signed up for class and you want to come, it is this Thursday morning, Thursday night, and Saturday. So I will be talking to all of you guys soon. Bye.